suggested video. Hey, this is a video that was suggested by Mr. Wash in the comments. There's your comment. We read every single comment, and we will until we're physically unable to. I will be, if we ever have 1,000 subscribers and we're getting like hundreds of comments a day, I'll find a way. We're doing it. Either way, you fucking put a comment about what kind of video you want us to do, we'll probably do it. Yeah. As long as it's not like porn. I mean... Nope, not happening. But, so...
This you see where my line goes.
Shush. This is a video about Promised Neverland anime, what they could change, add, cut, etc., and it was suggested by Mr. Wash. Go ahead and drop it. So, let's start off by making it very clear here, if you're new to the channel. David and I, and even Thurman here, who isn't even usually part of our discussions on Promised Neverland, we've all kind of agreed that Promised Neverland has very much dropped the ball on quality. And if you don't think so, I advise you to take off your nostalgia glasses just for a sec. Not even nostalgia. I mean, I guess it's nostalgia if you watch... Nostalgia glasses isn't the right term. What would it be? I guess the first arc... Yes, that's better. First arc was so good that I feel like people just desperately want it to be so good that they trick themselves.
Kind of the Bleach effect?
Yeah, but like, if you look... go back and reread the first arc. And tell me that these recent things are as good, because they're not. I'm sorry. That's an objective opinion. And leave if it triggers you. So this is us. We're here. Thurman, I wanted your thoughts. I haven't heard a lot of your thoughts on the current state of Promised Neverland. What do you think about this?
So the Promised Neverland is kind of dropped the ball in the sense of it's just boring now. I don't see where the plot is going. I feel like
there's no consistent goal.
I feel like the author himself or herself or whoever essentially doesn't have a clear mind of what they want to do. Like if you look at every other manga in Jump right now, you can see like Tabata, Oda, the Dr. Stone author. They have a clear mind of where they want their series to go. The Promised Neverland author doesn't seem to have that same type of mindset. But I mean, one of the biggest issues that I have with this Goldie Pond arc was just like having long arcs. It's fine, but don't make them tedious. This arc seemed very, very tedious to me, especially the Lewis fight. I wasn't interested in it at all. It was just them trying to essentially beat Lewis before he could regen again. It wasn't really anything unique that Promised Neverland is known for, which is kind of upsetting. Because it was just a blatant gunfight, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the way that Death Note fell. Like, Death Note kind of went from being a manga about, like, mental battles. And then it turned from that, which was very exciting, to them trying to make it action-y. And it wasn't as good. And what people liked about this original... The first arc of this manga was all about... there was rarely action scenes. It was all about this mental battle happening between Mama and the children and escaping. The couple action scenes I can think of were the tag games, if you can even call that action, and Isabel breaking Emma's leg.
Again, other than that, call that action.
Yeah, other than that, I really can't think of action. And to me, where the series began, it was the first... little inklings of dropping in quality was when Ray didn't burn himself alive. That was the first little bit of, okay, you've copped out. You've copped out.
I mean, you're not wrong there. Like, it is a cop-out. It as fucked up as it is to call that a cop-out, a kid setting himself on fire.
But that was beautiful. That chapter
was...
Oh, my God. I have never been... Like, Thurman, you were reading Weekly when that chapter came out, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you remember how fucking, how elated we were? How I was having like a hallelujah, I've seen God moment. This was like about to be like the new best thing. Like this is it. This is the new big thing. This is the new big series. That was like my moment where I was like, this is the best thing of all time. You know what I mean? And it just, it's not even just that it didn't happen, but it was more that's kind of when the author started playing with expectations, kind of almost clickbaity in a way, because they ended it in a situation where you thought like they did. And then from there on out, the pacing's been bad. Like, look back at early chapters. A lot of stuff happens in early chapters. You have them figuring out a lot of things, talking, a lot of dialogue, almost Togashi style. And now you have chapters that go by so quickly where it feels like nothing happens. It almost does
That's why a lot of our chapter discussions were like...
We had a 15-minute one last week, and that's like 2 minutes for us.
Yeah.
Right now, what's happening is it's becoming more and more shonen. That's essentially what's happening in the Promise Neverland right now. It kind of lost its uniqueness, and it's becoming more shonen.
Yeah.
And the issue with that is the fact that one of the biggest bullshits I ever saw was Emma coming back from being fucking stabbed, having a little Goku moment, and then passing out. Like, come on.
It was, although I would argue that happens in a lot of shonen. So what to you differentiates that from all the other shonen you watched?
But I mean,
because I didn't like it either. But what about you?
Frustration from this is that Promise Neverland never gave any hint to that happening. It never kind of gave us that prospect of that could happen in this series. It was just out of nowhere. Like when Luffy does it, we can somewhat expect that for some reason. When Asa does it, we can expect it. When Deku does it, we can expect that. But there was never any implication that.
I think what you're trying to get is it's the tone that the series sets.
Yeah.
The series set a realistic tone.
Which is why I added up mine and Mr. Wash's comments from Reddit there. But it's definitely, like you said, Thurman, it's something we didn't expect. It's something that, because we've had this, like, guerrilla-style survival series, for the last, arc and a half, we're like, well, obviously there's got to be some semblance of, like, fucking realism. There has to be this, like, the sense of dread and the sense of, like, oh, fuck, we still have these kids as cattle.
And another problem, more problems that I have with this series is, I think David and I touched on this when they first started fighting demons in Goldie Pond. Let's compare to Dr. Stone, shall we? In Dr. Stone, you have them having to make their weapons. They make them. They salvage them. They prepare for war. In this, they were given them. I think you put it best as they were given a sort of Pandora's box. Like, here's every weapon you can think of. Go nuts.
Yep.
To the point where one of their attacks, like this feels like fanficky. Like, one of their attacks was just chucking a bunch, like, ten-tenning the demon, essentially.
Well, that's what we called it in that fucking chapter discussion videos. Like, so they pulled the fucking ten-ten.
I think you said it best in the group chat. You said everything was too easy for them in this arc.
Yes.
There wasn't really hardship. Like, everything that they did was too easy.
And you know what's even more fucking annoying about that? It was somehow, at the same time, too easy for them, and yet way too long of an arc.
Right.
How is that possible?
Oh my god.
Let's not forget this all took place over 6 days.
Yeah, hold on. What did you say, Thurman?
I was so over this arc after they killed the two demons. I was like, okay, I'm over it now. Okay, move on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just like, I didn't care.
Thurman, but you have to admit, No Sonoma were so fucking unique. That is one part of this, like, we got lore through them.
I did, okay, so the parts that I liked about this arc, I do like when he ate her, and then we learned about, like, okay, well, that's a thing the demons can do. That was cool. I liked Bayon and Lewis's flashback stuff, where it's like, Bayon's thing was, like, he was, like, an upstanding demon businessman, which apparently exists, and, he got bored eventually, and then he kind of, like, black market ordered a child to his like, fucking rich guy ranch, and then he got a taste for it, and he got more and more and more. That was awesome too. Bayon and Lewis's relationship, the little we saw and through flashbacks, that felt legit real. They felt like college bros. I liked that. Like I liked those things, but those were very small, fleeting things in an arc that was mostly just them boringly fighting boring enemies.
Right. So
hold on. Go ahead.
Together.
Say again, Thurman?
Didn't really keep my interest together. There was nothing new to shake it up. It just felt like the same thing every chapter.
Yeah, it was just like, shoot them more! More shooting!
More shooting!
I was expecting more like the reason why Dr. Stone is kind of interesting to me because it changes things up. It isn't the same over time.
Yeah.
There's always something new to add to each chapter that makes it that makes sense. Like how just sorry to throw shade on Promise Neverland here. Like how last chapter Dr. Stone, not this chapter that came out one before this one, how they won over Nikki. That was great. Beyond my expectations.
And that also leads us to how Dr. Stone, or more accurately, how Promise Neverland is bad at dealing with minor characters. What's your thoughts on the amount of fucking minor characters and how, like, my problem is when you see them all in a fucking room, you can't name half of them. And like, when they're doing shit, you're like, who's this fucking guy?
Yeah. Harken back to my comment on Mr. Watch's post on Reddit.
Thurman, go ahead.
That's the one thing that kind of got me off. I was just like, okay, well, we have all these characters and you don't know how to use them. Like, at least, like, in a series where there's a bunch of characters, obviously some are going to be overshadowed, but at least, like, in, like, My Hero Academia, Black Clover.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's look at My Hero Academia. Look at the class.
Mm-hmm.
There's, what, 30? Is it 30 people? Or 20? No, it's 20, right?
Yes.
20 plus, 20 plus the fucking B class. Even the littlest, the least developed characters. Let's talk fucking the dude with the tail, or the tape guy, or the guy that eats sugar to get powered up. I know more about those fucking guys than like some of the medium developed, like Logan. Wasn't there a dude named Logan that like, and they tried to make it all like go on without us. I was like, who the fuck cares? I don't know you.
Was that Pepe?
Off. No. Logan was the one that almost got killed by Bayon.
Oh yeah.
See. And then Pepe was the one that had the fucking raccoon eye. It looked like he got fucking like socked in the eye. And oh god, like who cares? Who fucking cares?
So like, there's so many flaws here in the series. So how can the anime fix it? Was the purpose of this video?
Well, yeah, I did. I kind of wanted this to be a double part video. I'm gonna title it like "Our Problems with Promised Neverland" and how the anime can improve. So what do you? I don't know if see. Here's the problem with this topic to me, and maybe I don't know how the anime works. I don't see the anime's job as being improving the series.
No,
the anime's job should be to adapt. So I mean, what necessarily does the anime like? How much cadence do they have to change necessarily? What would they change? And are they able to? Do they do that?
Here, let me live edit this up because there was a post on Twitter that I found.
Okay, well, you find that because I have a question. So, like, is there an example, Thurman? Can you think of an example where an anime was better than its source material, like where they improved? Is that a thing?
A lot of people say Yu Yu Hakusho was better than the manga.
That's true, but mostly because the ending existed in the end.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Togashi said "fuck you" to Jump, so
yeah. Oh, I'm not dissing Togashi at all. It's just that's the biggest reason that the anime is better is that it had fantastic animation and it was, I mean, if an anime is done right, it's supposed to be better. It's supposed to be a better experience, better animation, better, with the music and the this and that. But like, what I'm saying though is like, and Mr. Wash, feel free to clarify what you mean here. Are you thinking like fully change plot? Because for some reason I just don't see them doing that. It'd be nice, I guess, if they could improve. I'm torn on that because I usually like them to be very accurate to canon. So I'm not like, what would they do exactly? Oh,
my thing to this is kind of like
I forgot about that.
Like, I ain't trying to throw shit on anyone here, but I feel like you can't. The only people who think like the anime could be better than the source material are just anime watchers only. I feel like people who don't really read the source material because of the fact
a good anime is better than the source material. Yeah. Like, but hold on. So David reminded me of something. It was confirmed. Wait, now, but is that a joke? Like, or do they mean that in a jokey way?
No, actually, if I can.
Okay, so David just showed me a Twitter thing that was liked by the official Promised Neverland Twitter, I think. Is that the official one or a fan page?
I have no idea if it's the official.
Is this real?
It is actually shown in the Jump magazine.
Okay, I guess Promised Neverland anime is going to have a quote-unquote beach episode? I don't understand how that works. What?
I believe that.
I'm trying to find the actual...
special.
They vacation... But how could they vacation to a beach? They're in a fucking thing. They're in a fucking... There's walls around There's a Trump-style wall.
There's a Trump-style wall.
Oh, we gotta make a wall joke in the abridged. I can't believe I didn't think about that yet.
So what I could shoot.
No, wait. Well, before you hold on, Thurman, before you say something, when David brought this up, it actually reminded me of something else. There was an author comment because I was even saying like, oh, how would they change stuff? But there was an author comment from the guy that writes it that actually said he saw the script for the first or second episode, and he said that it's the same story but told in like they change around certain things where it's the same thing, they stay true to the source material, but they tell it in a different way, which usually means they change around the pacing, change around the order, etc. Like, for example, one thing that they did with the Hunter x Hunter anime was that the order, like you know how like the Meru and Netero shit, like once it starts, it like goes through like okay.
Here's
Thurman,
the actual image.
Thurman, you know how the scene in Hunter x Hunter where it's like he's talking to him and then he punches them down and then they fight, right?
Yeah.
In the manga, oh my god. Hold on, okay. In the manga, it starts off by like they're talking, like the scene where they're talking and like they're going through like morals and ideals. That is like, it's like it flashes back to the shit with Gon and Pitou and all the other people, and then it goes back for the fight. But in the anime, they squish those two together so it wouldn't be awkward and disjointed pacing wise. You see? Hold on. You see what I'm saying, Thurman? Thurman?
Woo!
So
yeah, I heard
what
you.
I'm
Sorry.
saying is that's something that they could do potentially pacing wise that could improve Promised Neverland. Like because the pacing, one of the issues with the pacing in Goldie Pond especially was the fights and the way they were paced. So I'm not sure if they would change the fights, but what they could do is they could give them real good animation, mess around with the pacing, and kind of give the illusion that they were better than they really were, potentially.
Okay,
now let's talk about Corone. Oh my god. Did you send Thurman that picture?
Yes.
Bruh. Corone.
How many
is thick! God damn, dude.
Oh my god.
Oh god, that is muscle bound shit right there.
Oh boy. Hashtag before you get your boners all fucking crazy, let's not forget how terrifying she was as a villain.
Exactly.
She would like straight up fucking
and
crawl.
GI crawl.
She crawled in the fucking hallways and she had the fucking faces. Oh my. Yeah. So I guess there's a beach episode. That's happening. I don't understand how, but I guess I'm more inclined to believe that that's going to be an omake, like one of those like end scenes where it's like maybe they're like dream. You know what it could be? I just got how it could be. It could be something where like Emma's like, man, it sucks that we're stuck in this enclosement that we can't get out of. If only we could go to the beach that I've read about so much, and then it's like a dream sequence, like.
I mean,
probably an OVA, to be honest.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and try.
I don't care. I just want to see the big scene. I'm excited to see is the scene where they see Connie floating dead in the fucking thing like that.
Because let's be realistic here. That is the hook for the series.
Oh, it's a glorious hook, and I hope they do it right because they have to do that well because that is super the hook. That's like the equivalent of like Fullmetal Alchemist's like when they make their fucking mom and it fucks up, or any other series that has a really big hook like that. That hook was beautiful, like that.
Or the everlasting Edward.
Yeah, but that's not a hook. That's too deep in to be a hook.
Well, it's definitely one of the most memorable scenes.
I'm talking about a hook. I'm talking like second episode,
or even for DBZ tards out there, this special beam cannon fucking shit. That's a hook.
Still wouldn't call that a hook, but okay.
It technically is because that was the first thing I was similar to like fucking sacrifice and.
Oh, him dying.
Right.
Yeah, that's a hook. I thought you meant the cannon itself.
No, like the sacrifice that goes through there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I guess like
how it could change it. Like I agree with you.
I don't see them changing the plot, unfortunately. Well, again, I'm torn because the first arc should be untouched. It's good. The only thing I would want to change in the first arc would be when they're escaping, a couple more deaths, and before, there's always people that say, what, just to be edgy, more deaths? No.
Wait,
there was an exact, no, yeah. Don't call people out. That's hold on. There's always people that say that. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? I'm not, listen, because I like Hellsing, but I don't like series that like just kill to kill. You know what I mean? Like, I believe Akame Ga Kill is made fun of for that.
Oh yeah. Their issue was essentially the original Fullmetal Alchemist. They caught up to the source material.
Well, either way. Point I'm saying is, no, I don't want them to kill just to be edgy. I'm not like one of those like, oh my god, when characters die all the time, it's such a good anime. That does not make a good anime by itself. But this is a thing. This is a plantation that has held children for so long, presumably without fail for quite a while, I would assume. Unless they're like really bad at security. I was really expecting some more deaths on the way out, honestly. Like, I thought that was going to be a whole process. The escape itself was like 2 chapters. Mm-hmm. And it was really underwhelming to me. Like, that is the first time I got... The disappointment started with Ray's shit. Because Ray started off with him not burning himself. That was like squandering what could have been one of my favorite manga moments of all time. Mm-hmm. Then you have the escape, which I was expecting them to have to go through. You know, like they showed the map and there's like the main offices and shit. Yeah. I was expecting them to have to like go through that and like stealth their way through.
Their way through.
And nope, they just fucking just made a rope and we're gonna Tarzan over there. It's just. It was underwhelming, and that's where the pacing really started fucking up. How can you have your first arc building up to the escape? That's like the prison escape movie. That's like the prison escape movie being 99% planning it, and then they just walk out the door. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why you do that. So if they could, like, I would love, if there's any place you can put filler in the fucking anime, make the escape harder, somehow. That'd be cool, if possible.
Well, see, with Cloverworks, in general, like, I'm kind of scared now, and this is what Thurman and I... this is kind of what Thurman and I were talking about in a video that'll be coming out soon.
When? What?
The anime thing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Edit.
You gotta remind me. I just forgot about it.
But, like, we were talking about Darling and the Franxx, and how they kind of fucked the second core of the anime. And then I was like, I'm really scared for the Promised Neverland anime at this point.
But was that a them problem, or was the source material fuck itself at the end?
No, like, it's an anime first, essentially.
Oh.
So, which is kind of the stupidity of this.
Well, no, did Cloverworks, how close are they to the people that did Sword Art Online? Same team, or what is it?
See, that's where it gets funky, because there's not a whole lot about Cloverworks because they haven't worked on a whole lot.
Well, it's an offshoot of
A1. Yeah.
So what I would say was, like, here's my concern, right? So, like, if we're talking about, like, changing pacing, they are kind of known for that, but, like, I don't know. So, like, if we want, like, longer escape yet shorter Goldie Pond, I'm flashing back to Sword Art Online where it's like you have 100 floors of enemies and it's like 20, 60, 100. Here we are.
You're not wrong.
But
and then the source material, it's a lot more in depth.
Oh, I figure, yeah. But
light novel.
I don't know, man. If you want my honest answer, Mr. Wash, my sad assumption is that it's unfixable. You can't. Yeah, you can't fix a source material. Like you take the source material and you do it, and if you fix it, it still doesn't fill that void in my heart because it's not the source material. It's not what happened. And so if you start changing little things here and there, it's gonna be hard down the long run. Like how much are you?
Then it's going to be competing with itself essentially.
Then it becomes I'm pretty sure Thurman, you're a Gintama fan. Have you seen that part where they're like explaining how filler works?
Yeah,
and there was that one where it was like they change one thing and then they get fucked down the line, and like that's kind of what would happen. Like, so I mean, like,
yo, I'm really happy you said that, bro. Oh my god.
The only little things that they could do is add filler where things seem too rushed, maybe rush the pacing where things seem too slow, potentially. I don't know. I think the fighting, the action is unsalvageable. It's just garbage. Like, it's not.
The most I could do is make it more fluid.
They'll make the animation good, maybe. And so the very, very most they can make it pretty to look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. Here's the problem, because shout out to Super Eye Patch Wolf. Go watch his fucking "What Makes a Fight Scene Interesting" video. The two components. I fucking showed you those. The two components that make a fight scene interesting are good choreography and characters that you care about. Okay, so let's look through. There's zero choreography. It's just throwing shit at the opponent. So there's your choreography gone. How about characters we care about? Well, all we care about is Emma and Ray. Gillian a little bit. She's still new. Is that it? I think. Yeah. And
you go now. Essentially.
No, I was kind of cared about him a little bit. He wasn't bad.
But I mean, he's at least more. You cared more about him than like the other fodder characters from the fucking Goldie Pond arc.
Sure, a little bit. But that's not as good as you need it to be.
Exactly.
So these are characters that we, other than Emma and Ray, honestly, like if I'm gonna be legit, the characters I actually really care about, Emma and Ray, and other than them, no, I really barely do.
So
hold on. So since you have no, you don't have that like connection to the characters in the fight, you don't have any good choreography. These were just garbage fights. I wouldn't even call them fights. It was just shit happening.
No, they're not fights. They're literally like military skirmishes. They're like, okay, here's your position. You're going to hold this position. You're going to fucking shoot that way, and you're going to fire on anything that comes through. Done. You guerrilla-trained children, essentially.
And that's fine, but you can make it more interesting.
Exactly.
If you want to do that.
But, like, you can't really make guerrilla warfare interesting while you
I've read a lot of manga where a lot of authors make some interesting shit interesting.
Well, if you let me fucking finish, you piece of shit. Like, you can't make it interesting if you don't have any sense of dread. Because why you resort to guerrilla warfare is your enemy outpowers, outclasses, outfucking does you in any fucking capacity. Which, essentially, the demons do, but...
You should have.
But you don't have that because you've given them that Pandora's box of bullshit. So, literally, you have every conceivable opportunity to make an interesting fight interesting and fucking mean something to the story, but you just shit it away by giving them every fucking weapon under the goddamn sun.
We also should have known more about the people, the demons they were fighting, right? So that's another thing that makes a fight interesting, right? Let's flash back to one of the best fights in the last year, Luffy Katakuri. What made that fight so good is... You laugh, but am I wrong?
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm laughing. I'm laughing at the realism.
But one of the reasons that fight's so good is that you have there's this connection between Luffy and Katakuri. They understand each other, they get each other, and they're fighting. They're doing that thing that you always talk about, Thurman, where they're like men communicate through their fists, right? And then you have other things, like other fights in Kurapika Uvo. In Hunter x Hunter, there's something going on there where you have Kurapika, his rage towards the Phantom Troop is happening there, as well as the fact that he wants to test his chains on the physically strongest member of the Phantom Troop. Whereas you have Uvo, who's just kind of a meathead, and he's just like pretty pissed at this point about what Kurapika did to him. Fights need to tell a narrative. How about Carollo versus Zeno and Silva? That fight told a story. That fight was not just a fight, it was Carollo trying to stall for time because he had someone trying to assassinate the people that had hired the Zoldycks to assassinate him. So he was trying to stall for time where the Zoldycks were trying to kill him as fast as possible. I think I saw, there's another good video, but I believe this one was by Cake, the guy who analyzed the Ruby fights. And he said, a fight needs to, I'm probably misquoting this, but it's essentially what his point was, at least what I gathered from it was, a fight needs to tell a story. When you're sitting down, a fight just isn't about two people moving in a cool way. It needs to tell a story. What is this character's motive and what is this character's motive? When they're fighting, each character should have this motive. So he gave the example of, okay, well, this character only fights with his legs, and this character fights with his arms. Already, you've limited yourself, but limiting yourself makes you be more creative. So this character has to do everything with legs, this character has to do everything with arms. But then he added something where, okay, well, armed guy broke his leg guy's dad's leg. So now he's trying to break his arm for revenge. So his fighting style is going to be based towards kicking his arm over and over again to get revenge. So all of a sudden you're telling a story now. And his fighting style represents that. It's not they're not just fighting. He's fighting in a certain way because he's trying to get something done through the narrative of the fight. That's how you build a good fight. So there was no narrative. There was really not a lot of narrative. It was just kill him so we can leave. And I just didn't get a lot from it.
Yeah. So you essentially have Child A and B over here. You have Demon A here. wow, we are going to fire bullets at
Throw shit at each other.
We're going to fire bullets at this person until they fall down and die.
It had all of the fight complexity of like 80s Godzilla movies. It was just fucking big monster versus a lot of weapons.
That was essentially it. It was like kaiju movie.
So in closing, it's just I hope that I don't know. I mean, my honest opinion here is that the anime doesn't really have to do much other than adapt and adapt well. I think it should, at the very most, change pacing where pacing needs to be changed. Animate it well. Get good voice acting and music. Make it atmospheric. But don't change the lore and just hope that the manga steps it up as we're entering this new arc. That's my final thought.
Yeah,
my whole final thought thing is the fact that the only thing that they could possibly do is something similar to how people kind of went a tangent from manga. That's the only thing I can see they could possibly doing. David, you remember the controversy of how Akame ga Kill essentially went like a different route than how the manga did. So I mean, if they really wanted to essentially save it, they could do that, but I don't think they're going to do that.
You see, the issue if they Akame ga Kill it, like they're either A, going to write themselves into a corner themselves, or B, they're going to split the fandom. Well, either way, they'd end up splitting the fandom, to be honest.
I mean, they could do like an FMA. You know, you had like the FMA, which was like Full Filler and like FMA Brotherhood type deal.
But to me, it's like, what's the point of rewriting it? Like at this point, it'd be like an untrue thing. It'd be like, this is gonna be a weird metaphor. It'd be like getting a woman to love you through a love potion. It's like, okay, sure, they love me, but it feels fake. It feels wrong, and the fact that it's fake and wrong will ruin it. So with this, it's like, okay, let's say they make a good version. It'd be like, oh, it's good, but it's not what actually happened in the lore, and that would bother me, I guess.
Like, you're not wrong there. I mean, it's definitely, to me, like, all they really should do, and I'm sorry, Mr. Wash, I kind of agree with Red and Thurman here. Like, they have those two options. Like, make it atmospheric, and they make it, one of those series that you fucking change the pacing of certain things and just go on that little tangent there, or you fucking fill her end in and hope to God that your next chance to adapt it is not complete and utter ass.
Well, and to double down on the atmospheric aspect of it, one of the biggest strengths that this series has is the artwork. The artist is fucking phenomenal, and one of the things I want to see with the anime is the fact that it's the art could, in the hands of a proper animator, in a proper studio rather, the art could really. Well, because it's not just one animator doing everything. That's why I changed that. But
you still don't have the best option of studios, unfortunately.
Well, Cloverworks is good at making shit real shiny.
Yeah, real shiny, which doesn't kind of fit this.
Shiny could maybe a little. We'll see. No, I'm waiting for because they like shiny and they like sparks flying everywhere when people fight. Yeah. So now I want to.
I mean, it works really well for the flash grenade scene.
When fucking, oh my god, you're right actually. When we'll just have to see when Isabel breaks Emma's leg if sparks go everywhere. if there's like a big lens flare.
No. It wouldn't be a lens flare. It'd be one of those like pop-its. You'd hear that sound effect and then the lens flare.
Like when they like in anime when like blood spurts everywhere, but they like make it really like shiny.
Mm-hmm. Which is not how it works at all.
Well, it's more of like a it's an effect. But either way, I don't know. We'll see. I think that the best things that they could do in closing is pacing changes and really do the art justice, because at the very least it could be a beautiful ass anime if they
the art itself is fucking alive as it is. Like,
yeah.
It's definitely one of the key points of this fucking series is like that art is always nutworthy.
Nice. Well, anything else? Boy?
Yeah. That's how you wrap it up.
Peace.
Peace.